God knows the internet is full of inappropriate content for kids. But the problem is that this is a deeply flawed law that is overly draconian, and ultimately it doesn't even serve its core purpose. Very few people would dispute the goals behind the Online Safety Act to try and protect children from harmful content online. But one of the most disappointing things has been the way that the government seems completely unwilling to take any criticism or concern around it.
If you are against the Online Safety Act and want to overturn it, you are on the side of predators and paedophiles.
It's been intensely politicised, both by Nigel Farage and also by the Labour government. The reality is that actually it's something more fundamental, less as a cultural issue and more as a civil liberties issue. The Act has an awful lot of different components to it, but perhaps the one that all of us see most clearly is age verification checks on websites that might host adult content. Some of those are by handing over a photograph of your ID, but we also have third-party providers using facial recognition tools to estimate your age. But the problem is that the way that the Act is drawn up means many innocuous websites are being affected. Spotify, stop smoking websites, or even some cider brewing subreddits. One thing that we have to bear in mind, children know technology very well. We've seen VPN usage skyrocketing, and truthfully, some of the online safety checks to try and verify ages can be got around by using video game characters. A lot of the conversations that we have around harm online comes up with a relatively simple sounding solution that we should just all be willing to hand over our ID cards. But the reality is that there are people online who, for very good reasons, want to stay anonymous. They might be victims of domestic abuse wanting to speak out. They could be whistleblowers. The more data that is gathered about us on the web, the more the risk some of that gets into the wrong hands. There's no indication that the third-party age verification apps that are being used at the minute have insecure servers. In fact, they all say that they only temporarily hold our data. But we've seen scandals in recent weeks with apps like T, the online platform designed for women to try and have a safe space to talk about potentially harmful men, to show that actually it's better to have a light touch when it comes to data collection. And also, the terms of the Act are so broad that it means that any content that is inappropriate to children may well be blocked, and hidden campaigners have said that potentially takes in content about Gaza. Currently, this is something that affects UK users of the web, but the reality is that there are lots of other countries worldwide that are considering similar things. To be able to talk to one another without being tracked in some way or having to prove your identity is a core tenet of the web. So it's important that we fight to keep that.